Hi, welcome to MyWealth.com. I'm Mike Conlon. I'm one of the senior instructors with the courses. Welcome to today's blog. Today's blog is entitled, Who's Going to Pay for This Mess? Cash for Clunkers, Universal Health Care, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. The list goes on and on. For every minor success that we've had through a program like Cash for Clunkers, there's a complete disaster lurking in the wings, such as universal health care. All right, meanwhile, the economy in the U.S. is shrinking almost twice as fast as has been previously estimated, according to recent Bloomberg reports. All right, and the stock market seems to love it. All right, the S&P 500 index, the SPY, we take a look at the SPDR ETF for the S&P. It's up some 12% since the beginning of July, as we head into the end of this week's unemployment figures, which are due out. All right, now I wonder how less bad the numbers are going to be this time around. All right, which brings me back to the point. All right, who's going to pay for all of these stimulus programs that we're having? All right, because it's no surprise to anyone with a modicum of common sense, tax revenues are plummeting as corporate revenues are down and unemployment continues to rise. All right, so what's going to happen when the government runs out of stimulus money? Are they going to continue to print dollars, or are they finally going to have to pay the piper, as they say? All right, let's have a look.
Be sure to check out the written blog at www.mywealth.com/blog. Now, U.S. consumer spending represents 2/3 of the economic activity here in the United States. Okay, yet the government here has to bribe consumers to actually go out and buy things. All right, you've probably heard of these programs, the Cash for Clunkers program and the first-time homebuyer tax credit. All right, these are plans that the government set up in order to get people who might not otherwise be able to afford these items to go out and purchase them. Well, isn't that sort of what got us in this problem in the first place? I mean, if you think about it, if somebody can't afford something, should they really be buying it? I mean, it's nice to say, everybody needs to be a home owner, or, everyone should have a nice shiny new car, but at the end of the day, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. So I wonder, how many first-time home buyers are actually going to become, have their homes foreclosed because they don't have jobs or they're unemployed. All right, how many of these new cars are going to be repossessed because people are being laid off? All right, now what's going to happen to that guy? Well, what he did was he traded in a car that potentially was working, and he went out and he bought a brand new car. So he gets laid off, he can't make a payment or two, and then they send out the repo man who comes, takes the car back, and now what's the guy got? He's got nothing. He doesn't even have his old clunker to get to and from job interviews or something like that. So this could potentially have a negative effect on the economy. All right, and now what happens to that new vehicle that he bought? Well, the fact that he's had it for a little while, it's now a used car, so it goes and it sits on a used car lot, and it loses 1/3 of its value. So if people can't afford cars, should they really be encouraged to buy them? And I think that's part of the problem with with some of these government programs and what they're trying to do. How this all is going to play out and whether the economy recovers is really going to tell the story, but the government's taking a big chance here that this is going to happen. All right, so while these programs are going on, the government continues to rack up debt, and what they're going to do is they're going to expect the so-called rich and corporations to pay for it. Well, how are they going to do that? Well, they're going to say that we're going to raise taxes on the rich, and we're going to raise corporate taxes as well. All right, what's that going to do? Well, that's going to have an unfortunate and opposite effect of what they're planning on doing, and here's why. All right, when you take the productive class, namely the quote rich, okay, and attempt to raise their taxes, all that's going to do is encourage them to be less productive. Okay, why? Because they already have money; they can afford to ride out these cycles, whereas folks that are middle class and below can't. All right, so if the rich aren't encouraged to go out and start businesses or to spend money or to do the things that are going to help stimulate the economy, all right, what's going to happen to those that typically benefit for that? Well, they're not going to benefit. All right. In the meantime, what you're going to see is price inflation take hold, gasoline prices will go up because now the government needs to keep interest rates low. So we're going to see inflation. Well, who's that going to hurt? Not the rich. All right, the rich can afford to pay higher gas prices. It's going to hurt John Q. Public. Okay, and that's a problem. All right, now if you take a look at corporations, some corporations are global. All right, and because of technology, they can move their operations overseas very quickly. All right, if you raise taxes on corporations, they're just going to move to more tax-friendly environments to run the show. All right, and what this is going to do is it's going to further reduce the tax base. All right, and that's what the government and the administration doesn't seem to understand. All right, they should be trying to expand the tax base and not decrease it. It's unfortunate that politicians need to incite class warfare in order to keep themselves employed. So hopefully, at the end of the day, these guys come to their senses and they come up with some policies that are going to really promote fairness, and it's gonna take hold that corporations will want to open up their operations here, and they will want to start employing people, and that once people are employed with good jobs, they can actually afford to buy some of these things that the government's trying to incent them to do through these rebates. Okay? All right, so don't wait. Get educated. Get in a course. Come to www.mywealth.com and find out how government policies can affect your investments.
So what's the solution? Well, it may be time to take our medicine. All right, it may be time for politicians to do what's unpopular. All right, they need to stop spending money like drunken sailors, okay, and reduce taxes on the productive class, the so-called rich, and corporations who employ people. All right, and allow the free markets to determine prices, not the government through these programs and these incentives to get people to artificially prop up prices. All right, give people tax incentives to afford health care, to go green, and to make responsible purchases. Because if the government continues to go down this path, okay, they may find that there's no one left to tax at all. Okay, as jobs formerly held by the rich are now overseas or eliminated. Okay, and maybe nobody else is making enough money to actually put a dent in the deficits that we're accruing. All right, and that's not even considering people that are going to be unemployed that don't pay taxes. All right, and what's this going to do? Well, this could lead to a tax revolt, right, where people refuse to pay taxes because of all the frivolous spending that the government is doing here. Okay, and responsible, that meaning employed, hardworking Americans, these programs that they don't even take advantage of. All right, so basically what I'm saying is it's time to reduce government, not expand it. Okay, now that would be change I could believe in. All right, so to learn more about how government policies can affect your investments, come check out our investing and currency courses. So I'm Mike Conlon. Thanks for being with me, and I hope to see you in those courses.